In this video, we're going to try to install the neutral safety switch on your Ford Focus located on the side of your transmission. Now, right in front of the front tire here on the splash shield, we want to go ahead and remove this screw. We're going to use our 7mm and our ratchet. Now, our vehicle is raised up off the ground because we need to access the splash shield across the bottom of the vehicle. Once you remove this screw, we're going to repeat for the passenger side. Now, across the front lower portion of the bumper, there's going to be a series of 7mm screws. They go through the bumper into the lower splash shield. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of these here. Now that we have all of our screws removed, let's move on. Now that we have all of our screws removed, there's going to be 3 plastic push pin retainers. There's one here, one in the middle, and then one over on the driver's side. We're going to use our trim tool, pop out the center section, and then pop out the base. We're going to do that for the other 2. And then once we get these 3 buttons out, we'll go ahead and pop this lower splash shield off. Now we can go ahead and grab the splash shield and just pull it down. Set it aside. Now with that shield gone, you're going to look at your transmission right here. And we want to go ahead and disconnect this unit here. So I'm going to use my flathead screwdriver and just going to gently pry out on the locking tab right here and push up on that. I want to make sure that that is disconnected. Now I want to go ahead and pull this towards the front of the vehicle. I'm going to use my flathead screwdriver and get right behind here and just gently work this off. There it is. Once that pops off, that exposes the little ball stud right there. I want to go ahead and disconnect the electrical connector from up top here. We're going to press in on this upper tab, and I'm just going to use my screwdriver to go ahead and help me work that up and off. Now, sometimes by pressing on this tab here, it won't unlock. So I'm going to use my flat pocket flathead screwdriver here to go up underneath and release that lock tab. And then I'm going to grab my pliers here to go ahead and grab this and try to work this off. Just like that. I want to go ahead and use our 10mm socket with our ratchet. I'm going to use a longer ratchet to get a little bit of leverage on here. Now this is a trick, a little key tip. I'm going to use a pry bar. You can use a screwdriver. I'm going to put it on the socket, and I'm going to use the backside on the ball stud. You want to hold pressure on this here without putting pressure on the linkage, forcing the transmission linkage the opposite way. You can go ahead and break that bolt free. Remove that bolt. And just kind of work that gently. We did spray it down with some rust penetrant. I can feel it starting to move now. So just kind of wobble it back and forth. Here it comes. There we go. And it is keyed, so it can only go on one way. Before I remove this here, I'm going to spray it down with some solvent. I want to clean everything up. Right. We're going to use our 8mm socket to loosen and remove the 2 anchoring bolts holding us to the side of the transmission. I'm going to use our 8mm socket and our 1/4" ratchet. Now we just need to work this off here. Pop that off. Has the O-ring seal here for the old unit, so I want to go ahead and remove that. Now we have our switch, and on the inside there's going to be a little raised ridge right here, and then when you tip it, it's going to be right there. They're basically positioned exactly opposite of each other on the inside. These are going to line up with some grooves on the shaft on the transmission. Let's go ahead and install it. Now in some cases, if those lines on the backside are not lining up, you can actually put your finger in there and rotate it so that it lines up here with the grooves. I'm going to line that up. And go ahead and work that into position. Now when we remove this one here, it was positioned so that this flat tab right here was pointing down at 6 o'clock. We're now going to go ahead and grab our bolts here, get those lined up, get these started. Now once this is all installed, before installing the shield on the bottom here, you want to hop into the vehicle, and you should be able to start the vehicle in park and start the vehicle in neutral. So you're going to try both of these. For any reason, if it doesn't start in neutral or that park, you're going to come down here, loosen these and turn and clock this here right or left to get that lined up. You want to be able to start in both park and neutral. Now when tightening these down, once they're bottomed out, just give it a little bit more. You just want to gently snug this down. Gently snug it, come back to this one, just double check it, it's good. Now we can install our pivot arm here. Install our bolt. Now you can see when you go to tighten this down, it wants to change that and it wants to move it out of park. Put your pry bar on there, just hold that gently and just snug it. It doesn't have to be super tight, you just want it to be snug. Let's go ahead and reconnect that connector up top. Simply gonna line that right up and push it down. And then we're gonna take our pivot unit right here for the linkage. You're gonna line it up on the other side here. There's just a little socket here that pops onto the ball stud. So go ahead and line that up. Push that on. Make sure it's fully seated, and then you want to go ahead and lock it. Now at this point here, once again, hop into the vehicle. With it in park, go ahead and start it. Then you can go ahead and put it into neutral, shut it off, and try and start it in neutral. If it starts in both park and neutral, your adjustment is perfect. If not, put it back in park, come back underneath, loosen these two 8mm screws and clock the neutral safety switch just a little bit, snug it and repeat that process until you have it nailed, and then install the lower shield. Take that splash shield, get that lined up, feed that right back into where we got it from. And once we have this up in place, we're just going to reverse the procedure, getting our plastic pins and screws installed. Now ideally you want to go ahead and get these screws started. We have this one here, we have the one up inside the fender liner here. We want to go ahead and do. And they're just going to continue right across the front side and finish up on the other side. Once they're all installed, we're going to come back and snug them down. Snug. Let's go ahead and just run across the front and we'll snug all these down and we'll wrap up on the driver's side. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.